Tonight, our I-team takes on accusations of an Enbridge cover-up. Last July, a pipeline owned by Enbridge ruptured in Marshall, sending hundreds of thousands of gallons of oil into West Michigan's waterways. Now a former Enbridge employee is blowing the whistle on the company, accusing it of covering up oil.
One former worker is doing everything possible to get his story out there.
A former worker blowing the whistle on Enbridge takes News Channel 3 on a tour of sites he claims still have oil, but the company is not coming back to clean up. John Bolenball still finds ice packed with oil and is making strong accusations against the company.
They were trying to meet deadlines, so what they would tell us to do is take dirt, put it over the top of the oil. They were telling us to take mud with oil and throw it into the woods. They were telling us to rake dirt over the top of oil.
And he says because he wouldn't do those things, he was fired in October after 2 months on cleanup operations. But Bolenball believes the so-called smoking gun is near Talmadge Creek in Ground Zero in Marshall.
I just wanted to prove that this is all oil. It is all oil. This is not mud. Mud will freeze.
No, that is not oil. That's sediment. It's mud. That's what he's standing in, is mud.
All right. See, there's no sheen. Reason why that's important is because when I dig down, the oil is underneath the sand. See it coming up? It's under the sand. It's not in the sand, it's under the sand that they put there. Can you see that? Yeah. The whole thing, it's all oil. See this? They put this over, this entire area is all canvas. They plant grass underneath of it. The grass will pop through. This is all oil. I don't like doing this. But the only way I'm going to get people's attention is to do this.
Think if you were a kid. Think if you were a kid playing right now and you fell in that. A little kid out here by yourself.
You'd be done.
You'd be stuck and you'd die. They buried all this oil, and now because of my videos, they're redigging it out. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna dig deep and you'll see the oil. It's all coming out. It's completely under the river. Can everybody see that? It's really thick. Watch. See that? You can't deny that's oil. This whole place is full of it. And they said it's clean. Wednesday, October 26, 2011. Mesoresco Dam just showing you that there is no boom, no workers. Got a clean glove, nothing on it. I'm just going to stick it in and try to grab some of this oil. That's what's underneath all this dirt.
And let me say also, I hope to see you out on the river. And thank you for coming.
And I hope you don't go on the river. It's still full of oil. Kalamazoo River, 21 miles away from where the spill is. We're right over by Clark Road Bridge. This is what they're telling you, everybody. It makes me sick to my stomach. Eat safe fish from the Kalamazoo River. Fish are part of a healthy diet.
Yeah, that's oil right there.
That's oil right there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I mean, come on, that's all oil. That's not how they look.
No, they're usually pretty white.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah, I'd have still been eating them to this day because they said it was okay for us to eat. bullshit. Not seeing shit like that.
What was some of your symptoms that you had after the oil spill?
I had 3 seizures at the other
I had
house.
a seizure for the first time in my life.
And then my son actually had seizures passing out. I even took him to the ER.
And once they said the spill was cleaned up already, I let her swim and drink and everything out of the river like she always did before. And now we have this massive tumor on her chest.
Oh my God. NPR, National Public Radio.
CTV News in Vancouver. And this is what you're going to see float to the surface. You can see this sheen with the naked eye, even droplets of oil that are floating in the water all around us.
Film crew from New York, and just showing them tar sand oil still in the river. We're at Ceresco Dam, and just to show you, it's October 18th, 2013. Darn Tigers lost. But I just want to show everybody. A clean glove here.
Yep.
And basically I just stirred it up. I'm going to try to grab some chunks of oil. This area is just full of oil. That's why EPA is making Enbridge re-dredge this, because kids are swallowing drops of this oil, and the MSDS sheet specifically says it can kill you, cause seizures, coma, liver damage, kidney damage, on and on. Leukemia, cancer. Do you want your fish to have this? Do you want your kids to have this in their body? You think that's clean?
No, you stink like oil too. It reeks of oil as soon as you walked out of there.
Makes you want to puke.
We're still not drinking our water. It's been 4 years.
After the oil spill, you had a miscarriage.
Yes.
And you said it was?
It was bad. I almost ended up dying. My liver, spleen, pancreas, uterus, and gallbladder had gotten infected, and the hospital told me if I had gotten there 6 hours later, I probably would have been dead. It was like exorcist vomiting.
And when did this happen?
Shortly after the oil spill, a couple of days after. But I've heard rumors that other people have lost their kids due to the oil spill too.
What company are you so mad at?
Enbridge themselves.
I don't understand. Everybody thinks, Enbridge says that they're doing a great job.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at covering up.
You know, and they're saying it's not dangerous. Why are we still getting sick? And they won't give me answers. Oh, it's clean, it's safe, it's this, it's that. Live here then. Tell me it's clean and it's safe.
The oil and gas industry, the dishonesty that these people possess and the things that they do that are detrimental to communities is almost beyond belief. And they have no compassion whatsoever. They have no honesty. They have no pride. And they're worried about the bottom line. The bottom line is the bottom line.
What's your opinion about the media with the Battle Creek spill?
What media? I mean, they've totally neglected the whole reporting of it. I don't think they're being honest about it. I don't think that they're caring enough. They're not doing any research. They're not coming out. No media's come to talk to anyone around my neighborhood that I know of. And we're right at the river.
They polluted the water. They polluted the land. They ruined it. This is why this whole town is going bare. Look at all the empty houses. We knew all these people. Now it's just like, you know, you can go, oh, so-and-so's gone. That person's gone. They're empty houses. And it shouldn't be like that.
What's it feel like when someone passes away and you believe they got cancer from the oil spill? How do you feel inside?
Angry, very angry. I just like to go up to those suckers that came here and did their little yah-yah cheer for Enbridge routine. I like to really slap them up there and say, stop your stupid lying and tell the truth.
What happened?
They had to open me up
from all the way from my pelvis area to my chest. They basically, I puked and detached my aorta off my stomach. And basically what happened is the fumes cause you to get nauseous and have extremely bad headaches. And I had headaches for about 2 weeks, which caused me to repeatedly vomit and throw up over and over and over again. It basically would never go away for about 2 weeks. And I actually puked so hard I detached my aorta off my stomach. I had 3 pints of blood that built up into my stomach to where I almost bled to death as a result of it.
I'm really active. I can't even go out and do half the things that I want to do anymore. I can't ride my bike. You can't get insurance because you're sick. Trying to get my medications is hard enough trying to do that because I can't breathe. I got to do 4 treatments a day. A puffer. I mean, I can't even go outside and enjoy the weather if it's too humid. I can't handle the cold. It's just terrible that they don't even care about us. They care about throwing their money around in Marshall and giving everybody else donations and just forget about the people that got sick. And it pisses me off. And I'm not backing down. And you guys are up for a hell of a fight because I'm not backing down. We've got other people that are sick. My granddaughter, my daughter, I have 2 people in my living room that are sick right now from it, and you guys don't even care. It just makes me sick. Something's going to be done about it, and justice will be served, and I will make sure of it one way or another. I don't care if I get any money or not, but justice will be served. They don't care. You know, and you're about the only person I have seen on YouTube or on television that even gives a damn about us. There's nobody that gives anybody but you. That's about the only one I've seen. And the people that are sick care about each other, but Enbridge sure in hell don't. And I guess we just got to band together. We got to try and get these people together. We got to stand up against Enbridge and not back down. That's all there is to it.
Really, you got balls.
Why do I have balls?
To take somebody on that day?
You got all them videos to prove it. I still think that shit had something to do with this. I don't care what they say, I still think it does.
In my opinion, Enbridge Oil, EPA, the health department, they're all nothing but human terrorists.
Yep.
You want to put it bluntly. They don't care about human life one bit.
My son was diagnosed officially on March 8th, 2012. He started showing symptoms in late January of 2012.
So he got leukemia after the oil spill?
Yes. I think it's possible that we could have dozens of leukemia cases because of the oil spill.
I've worked the last winter in one of the local high schools, Marshall High School, and there's like 900 students in the whole school. I've seen 5 different names of kids, elementary school level and junior high level, that they were talking about how they had leukemia.
My personal opinion, I never had this problem until that spill. When I get a sudden burning in my throat, I get the worst case of heartburn in the world. Never had it in my life. Never.
I was taken various times to the hospital where I would have a seizure that was so violent that it took sometimes 4 people to hold me down.
And do you think that you're sick now because of what you breathed in over the last year?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, like I said, we've suffered through headaches, eyes watering.
Memory loss. Our immune systems we're more susceptible. We get sick easier.
We're tired all the time.
What do you mean tired all the time?
Just
don't have any energy to do anything. Just feel blah all the time.
They were sick like I was, getting sick, puking because of that smell off the road. I mean, this was bad. I heard it explain. It was so bad. It was. You could not. Man, I don't even know how. I mean, it's like 3 weeks of just puking in a bucket and migraine headaches and sick as a dog, or just like the dog, couldn't eat.
Had an MRI, a CAT scan, an EEG.
And why?
Before the oil spill, I've never had the migraines, headaches, or dizzy spells. Since then,
I get them all the time with migraines, and I get dizzy, just not even doing anything.
Like they're able to do jumping jacks, they're able to do all of these exercises in gym that I just can't do because of the oil spill.
Enbridge has no integrity and no character, and they should be out of business.
Right after the oil spill, all along the ground here, there were dead birds.
Tell me about that.
Well, it just was a sickening smell. We had a little dog that he started vomiting. We had at the time about 50 chickens, and I lost 30 of them in the first 2 days.
Because my livelihood has been destroyed. It ain't like it's gonna be right, you know, they saying everything is okay and all that. I had people on the oil spill tell me it'll be 20 years from now and you still see oil traces and stuff of this oil spill. That river won't be clean for another 20 or 30 years, if it be clean then. And they around here talking about the river's clean, you can eat fish out of there. Well, we proved that you can't eat fish out of there. We caught these fish with all these tumors on them.
This here is contaminated, full of oil. All through there, you can see how it's completely black. Then here we have a catfish. It's got a tumor right in over here. Oil spots everywhere.
This is a scar that he developed last summer, and it kind of went on his stomach and it went all the way around his back side.
So it's on his back here, all the way around.
And they didn't know why or what it was.
Well, you said he got a rash from when the oil spill happened.
Right, it happened after the oil spill.
Tumor? Yeah. Right there's a tumor.
She was in perfect health all her life. She's such a good dog, nice cute dachshund. But once they said the spill was cleaned up already, I let her swim and drink and everything out of the river like she always did before. And now we have this massive tumor on her chest.
Oh my God. Do you think people are faking it? That's what I want to know.
Do I think people are faking being sick? I don't see how you can fake dying. I mean, you're not going to fake that. And I mean, I know I'm not faking my headaches.
And when I went into the hospital, I said, I don't know what it is, but all I know is I've smelt those fumes from the river. It was raw, crude oil. It was the horriblest smell you ever smelt in your life.
And he died of a seizure in the house 3 days before she died from cancer.
All right.
You know, I got 2 in 1 week at Christmas.
Respiratory problems. He's been on nebulizer treatments
That's
since
huge.
he was a baby.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying he's pre-asthmatic, and I don't know if that...
Well, it happened right after the oil spill, right?
Yeah, not long after, yeah, because he was born in May, and it happened in August, so he was only a couple months old.
I had a severe breathing problem after that oil spill, because I work right next to the Kalamazoo River.
Okay, tell me more.
And I went to the hospital several times, and I'm still having, you know, like lung problems.
I was fine before the spill, and like after the spill I started having headaches, migraine headaches, nausea, vomiting, sometimes diarrhea. You know, it was just everything while I was at work. This is going on, and then I would notice after I'd go home, there was times where I was falling down and hurting myself, just, you know, out of the blue, and breathing problems. I had a couple episodes where I couldn't breathe at all, and after all these things going on and going to the doctors, you know, I have a tumor in my spine, and they found multiple cysts in both my lungs, and
they weren't there before the spill?
No.
Me and my husband, we've both are still not feeling well. We're still tired all the time, and my husband's been having headaches every day. All of a sudden we're sick, you know, with sore throats and stomach problems, and he's just been having headaches every day.
Yeah, he just kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and when the representatives from Enbridge come around, I asked him if he should be moved, if he was too close to the river. Oh no, he wasn't too close, he wasn't too close. Well, he just kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and we took him to the vet, and he just kept getting bigger and bigger, and he ended up with brain cancer. After $3,000 in vet bills, we ended up having to put him down. They couldn't save him.
And this happened right after the oil spill?
right after the oil spill, within 2 months after the oil spill. And this dog was perfectly healthy. He went blind, he couldn't hear you, he wouldn't eat, and he kept getting bigger. I don't know how he could get bigger because he went a month without eating.
What do you mean bigger?
He just blew up. He got huge.
You can still see the oil in the water, still see the staining on the trees from where it happened at. You go out on our property, you can still see staining. They haven't done anything on our property. They showed up and took some samples and said they'd get back to us. Well, that was 3 years ago.
Can you tell us what your job is?
I'm a police officer. All it does is hurt the environment, and last time I checked, there's only one world. There's only one Earth. And once we screw that up, we're all done. We can't make another one. They're not making another Earth. They're not making another planet for us to go to. So if they want to keep screwing it up, all it's going to do is hurt our children's children's children.
Why do they want to keep me away from the river?
Because they don't want whistleblowers. They don't want nobody to know what they're doing or what they're not doing or what they should be doing and they're not doing. They don't want people to know. They want to basically try to sweep it under the rug and, forget about it. Because they don't care. They're from Canada.
And hope that you get justice because you're getting justice for everybody. Those fucking bolts didn't fall out. You drew a line in the sand against a very big enemy. You're the Alamo up against the Mexican army. Now, hopefully you don't have the same outcome. But you also can't undo what you started. You can't walk away from it.
There's nothing like a nice day in the hot tub right next to your tar sand Enbridge pipeline. Why do you and your wife argue about this?
Just because it causes a lot of stress for me, and it causes a lot of tension, and I'm angry about it, and she doesn't see it, comes home, and we argue because I'm under the stress of listening to this all day long. I mean, I could leave, but at the same time, I've got the risk of all this dirt crumbling away from our house and our whole foundation's exposed. That's how close they are. Just trying to stay the course and try to stay sane through all this. I mean, you're seeing a couple minutes of this on video, but this has been 6 months of this. And it's hard to explain to people how this affects you every day. I don't know what more to say. They're just, I mean, this is so crazy. You have no control over what's going on in your life, and your land and everything is just being devastated behind you, and you see your everything diminished that you're working for. And I know that there's people that have it much worse than us. I know that. But this is not right. Everybody who comes here says that this is not right. You don't have to be a professional. It's an easy way to see right and wrong. And this is not right.
We're screwed up. They screwed up bad. When they
look at me, Rob.
They stopped caring about people. They stopped caring about people.
I've never seen you cry before. You're always so tough. Why? Wow.
I can't do it.
Tell me what you think about Enbridge, Rob. Get it out. This is your opportunity to tell them what you think. This is your community.
This is a piss poor company. They should care more about people than oil. They should care about their environment that they're living in. Do you want to drink oil for your coffee?
Why we just cannot let this go on anyplace else.
Thank you, Bill.
I drove all the way from Michigan. I just did 4,500 miles recently to spread the word. I'm a Navy veteran, Bronze Star. I worked on the Keystone Pipeline the first time, and I'm a union worker. I will never work for a tar sand pipeline job.
It's a damn shame that people think they can sweep it under the rug. You know, eventually everybody's gonna get sure enough sick around here, you know, and the rich get richer and the poor get sicker and poor. So I need to stop. So that's why you see me standing here today. I have kids myself, you know, and I don't feel this right at all. You know, even kids that's not mine there, it's a hurting feeling to see kids on videos that's sick because somebody's greedy, you know. In our own country, you know, it's wrong. I don't know what's going on around here, but it needs to stop.
Now, how much money do you normally make a week? What are you risking by doing this today?
Risking my career in the oil business. I usually make $3 grand a week. $3 grand. That's a little bit of overtime, of course, but it's, you know, you get paid. But it's time for this to stop. You know, they're raping the land and polluting the land, and it's going to be, no one's going to want to live around here. They don't now, you know, but it's going to get worse. You've got animals walking around here, and they're going to start disappearing too.
So you're risking your whole career by doing this video today to show me where oil was buried?
Yes, yes, yeah, and I believe it's worth it, you know. I might be saving a life down the road, or a family down the road in the future, you know. Can't put price on life.
How did you hear about me?
Well, I saw your video. I seen Image Oil, you know, and seen some of your videos, and I told my roommate, hey, I want to meet this guy. I got something to show him. So that's why I'm here. And so I meet you, and I'm bringing you out here, and we're going to find some oil. You know, this need to stop, you know.
Do you think what I'm doing is the right thing?
Yes, I had tears in my eyes, actually. And I saw this guy, I said, man, I got to see this guy, let him know to keep doing what he's doing, and shake his hand, and let him know he's doing the right thing, you know. I got kind of upset about that, so I figured I'm about to come out here and see you. Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
What's your name, please?
My name's Bradley Goheen.
And Brad, why are you in my truck?
Oh, I just met you and seen your shirt, so I thought I'd talk to you about some of the things I've seen personally out on the river.
I mean, start from the beginning. You started work for him.
Cover up. That's what I seen.
Are you just saying that because you know, why are you saying that? Give me details.
Because that I felt like my job was oil recovery, and once I started at work this year, it was oil cover up.
Well, what do you mean?
Pretty much. You go out there to find the oil, and whether you find the oil or not isn't their prerogative. It's to make things look new and move on, pretty much.
Do you feel guilty about that?
Yeah. Yep,
and why do you do it?
like,
why do you still do it?
For money, for my paycheck every week.
All right, and you've actually complained many a times about this.
Oh yeah, I complained the one time and I got laid off for a week, so.
Right, you told me that inside.
Haven't complained again. I'm just there to work from the shoulders down.
Do you think people are faking it? That's what I want to know.
Do I think people are faking being sick? I don't see how you can fake dying. I mean, you're not going to fake that. And I mean, I know I'm not faking my headaches.
They opened it up late last year in the fall. Apparently they felt at that point in time, according to the health departments, that that it would be okay for folks to boat the river and do what they were going to do. Now, obviously, if there's new evidence saying that that was a mistake, then they need to go back and correct it.
Do you know how they found out about that new evidence?
I have no idea, probably by you.
So they told you to cover up the oil.
Yeah.
They didn't tell you to clean it up. They told you to cover it up, plant grass over it.
Yes.
You just mentioned about another reason why you didn't report the oil cover-up when I did. Why didn't you?
Well, you know, at the time, obviously, I needed my job. I was still working, but I had also heard, you know, about death threats and stuff being made, and it wasn't so much just to protect myself, but, you know, I have kids that if for some reason, because I spoke up, they decide they want to make my ass disappear, then my kids lose their father. So that's the only reason I didn't.
Well, isn't that like in the movies? I mean, that's all a conspiracy and made up stuff, or do you believe that could really happen?
Oh, I know it could happen.
And why do you believe that?
You know, it's the old saying, squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, in this case, they would just make the squeaky wheel disappear instead of fixing it.
Do you believe I'm a squeaky wheel for Enbridge?
You're more than a squeaky wheel. You're a locomotive that just won't go away in their eyes.
That's why I'm so pissed off at Enbridge, because they are using humans, and these humans are going to...
disposable.
Yeah, they're disposable. That's exactly what it is.
And then they also made us, like anybody that worked on the spill, they made us sign a waiver that we could not sue them for anything if we ever had any type of ailments.
You and I actually met. It was actually after one of my commission meetings over in Marshall, one of our county commission meetings here in Calhoun County, and this was after the oil spill, the Enbridge oil spill in the Kalamazoo River here in our county, and we met out in the lobby. You actually showed me footage, actual footage that you had taken. That was on YouTube, but actually on your computer, and I actually sat there with you after the meeting for some time after the meeting, and you showed me this footage of what you had taken of the oil spill, and actually in positions where I guess they were trying to say that was cleaned up, but you begged to differ because you actually had live footage that you had showed me to say, hey, it's not clean as they say it is. So we know that that the river was by far not clean as they had, I guess, publicly announced that it was cleaned. We also know by actual footage and by proof of this footage that as a result of them saying it was clean, that it was actually being covered up. So, and we had a number of flyovers, and we had people being given boat rides and whatnot, but what we couldn't see is beyond the actual surface of the things, of the sand and the dirt that they were using to kind of cover up the oil spill. And so as a result, you had actually brought that to me, or at least to my attention, that, hey, this is beyond the surface, you know what I mean? We got to dig deep. And so you had actually taken the shovel and showed us, hey, this is all oil. You had it on your gloves and everything. So I said, wow, what a horrible thing, And so that's when I believe, John, that's when I think I became, I guess, a little bit very ticked off, to say the least, because one of the things that I believe in is standing for righteousness and being transparent with people. You're playing with people's lives. You're playing with people's livelihood. And so when you were able to unfold or uncover what was really deep down within, it was like, wow. So these people are trying to flash their money around and try to basically buy people off so they can move on and continue to make the billions of dollars that they've already made, And that's why I commend you, because even though they try to portray you as this disgruntled previous employee, this guy's a lowlife, this guy, and then they try to dig up your past or whatever. I mean, to me, all of that gets put behind. Everybody has a past. Everybody has, missteps in life. But why would they go dirty like that if there was nothing to hide? So, and I knew that, and I can see beyond the smoke screen for the most part. And that's when I knew that you were being genuine, that you were really trying to hold these people accountable. And so I would say, absolutely, you and all of the people that have actually supported you along the journey have a big part to play in causing them to now come back and get this thing right. So that also lets me know that if it was clean to begin with, then why are you being asked to come back and clean it again? Right. If it was clean as you suppose, And so hopefully the public now is at a place where they now understand that, okay, John was telling the doggone truth. But for me, it didn't take all of that. It all I needed to see was the footage, you know what I mean? But to others, it has to come a certain way, and it's unfortunate that it has to take all of that for people to be convinced. All I had to do was say the proof is in the pudding right here, because the film don't lie. I mean, you can edit and do all that other stuff, but it was in live action. You show proof by the date on the newspapers and stuff like that. Hey, today is this date, this is the day today, and I'm here, and so that's all it took for me. So, but for others, it might take a little more, and I don't buy that. So.
Well, I thank you you're the first person that ever came out publicly and said, John, I believe you.
Yeah, I
and
appreciate
I
that.
thank you for that.
Oh yeah, for you, man. I remember you and I having that conversation too, man, where I said, man, just keep fighting the good fight. I know you kind of got weary for a little while because you were concerned, you were getting these threats and all this other stuff. Well, yeah, absolutely. But again, the Bible says that the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to he that endure to the end. You know, if you stand for what's right, that's all you need, man. You know, so God bless you, man. I really appreciate what you're doing. So, and I'm sure a lot of these other people are appreciating what you're doing as well, man. I mean, in order to get things done, you got to stay the journey, you know, and this is what you're proving to do. So,
because I was really worried for your safety, because, you know, besides the fact they were harassing you and lying about who you were at the casino, they were, you know, physically attacking you in the woods. You know, that's why I started coming out with you, because I literally was worried about your safety. I think what you've done was a great deed to the community. You probably saved many lives. I know we've lost a lot of lives because of this. But if you saved at least one, it was all worth it. You know, one child, it's all worth it. And I don't want you to stop doing what you're doing, because it's, you know, there's still a lot that needs to happen.
So what do you feel about what Enbridge has done to me? About the death threats, the slashed tires, the brakes, my brakes being messed with, being assaulted, being harassed, defamation of character. What do you feel about all that just because I was trying to get this river cleaned up properly? I mean, I don't want kids swimming in this river. And as we both know, that they said kids could swim in this river this last summer, right?
Yes, they did.
You could eat the fish, right?
That's what they said.
And all of a sudden, I take National Public Radio out there and news reporters, and now the EPA is telling Enbridge to re-dredge several miles of the river, saying that there's 38 miles of contaminants at the bottom of this river, and they're costing Enbridge with an order to do it. They're not suggesting Enbridge does it. They're ordering Enbridge to do it because Enbridge said they won't clean up more of this river.
Yeah, but they're not closing the river. They're not closing it to the public still.
Exactly. And kids can swallow these chemicals in the drops of oil. What do you feel about that?
I'm scared for people's lives, because if you swim in this river and you swallow any of that, you are dead. You are literally dead. Your kids will be dead. And the stuff is in the fish, okay? Don't worry about mercury content in the fish. That's not going to kill you. This oil and stuff is going to kill you. It's in the deer who drink the water, and any animal. If you hunt around this river with that, I would not touch the animal.
As you can see, I'm not a professional. I don't have a studio, and I don't have a really nice camera. I have what I have. I've sold my truck to buy these signs. That's why I have these nice signs, because I sold my truck. Bought these sweatshirts and t-shirts and gave them away for free. I just gave away about $5,000 worth of stuff at the DC rally, between sweatshirts and t-shirts and signs and bumper stickers, and it's expensive. Very, very expensive to do what I'm doing. A lot of people don't know. They are allowed to leak every single day thousands of gallons of toxic chemicals legally. Alright? Now, the reason why I say legally is because no one will ever know about it unless the alarm goes off. The alarms won't go off unless you have between 1.5% and 2% loss of pressure. Alright? So that could be thousands of gallons every single day can leak out of that entire pipeline, and they will never have an alarm go off. So no one will ever know that there's anything leaking in their wells, and their kids are going to be drinking it, and you're going to be swimming in it. It's going to happen. If you have one leak in that aquifer, you lost 30% of the United States water. And what do we got to gain from it? A few union workers that get jobs for a year or two. I'm a union worker. I'm an unemployed union worker. I make a lot of money when I am working. I will not work for a tar sand job. It's that bad. Alright? I would rather be poor than work for a tar sand job. What is your name, please?
James Bleep Bleep.
Well, James doesn't want everybody to know who he is because he just tell
implicating factors. But anyhow, we're just going to get right to our main topic here of Enbridge's impact on my hometown, actually, Michigan. We all knew there was more there, but I mean, like I said, it was more of a make it look good on paper, like we're knocking these areas out real fast. You know, I mean, we're getting them cleaned out so they can write it down. Look, we got this section, this section, this section done. So everybody thinks, you know, we're doing such a swell job out there, but in reality, it wasn't. It was just a skim over. That's all it was. It was just a horse and pony skim over, and that it would turn into more of a time material type deal, to where it was like, you know, just hit it, okay, we were there, then they come in and EPA, in my opinion, half-assed a check and said, all right, I don't know if they were getting extra steak dinners out of the deal or what happened, but they were definitely turning their heads to a lot of stuff that was going on, to where, you know, and I thought their branch of government there, they were, you know, serious about their jobs, but from the way I seen it, anybody can be bought, I guess.
And that's what's really weird. I mean, I was shocked when I got this deposition to come in and testify, because I'm thinking John was let go for speaking to the public, taking pictures, showing the, you know, and talking about the health hazards and the way they were handling it. And he was right. He wasn't lying.
And yet, Mr. Jacobs,
so why wouldn't that be relevant to the case? He got fired for speaking out to the EPA, to the public, to the people. Yeah, I tried to forget about all this stuff, because I don't even want to think of what I've done to my body. That like I said, I'm 55 years old, and in 10 years, 15 years, I'd love to be able to retire and relax and enjoy my golden years. Am I going to end up sick and dying because I worked for a company that worked for another company that we were not allowed to wear the proper personal protective equipment that we should have been wearing because of let's not scare the public?
Was it emotionally stressful to you to have to cover up and leave the oil?
Absolutely. I live here. It was emotionally stressful to see that stuff simmering on the top of the water and not wearing masks and wondering, is this going to be a problem down the road for me? You know? And why are they even moving us on? It was emotional stress when they were saying there's no more oil here, you need to move on, in the water, on the land, the whole 9 yards. Yes, it was very emotional. I live here. You're all going to be gone. You know? Your companies are going to be gone, because most of the companies weren't from here, weren't from Battle Creek. There was no environmental services company in Battle Creek. It was all from out of town. A lot of them were out of states. You know, it wasn't there. They weren't going to be sitting here breathing this stuff. They weren't going to be sitting here canoeing in the rivers. They weren't going to be the ones dealing with it. You know, so it was it was sad to see that happening, and it made me go, why is the EPA doing this? Why? Who's paying the? Are there crooked EPA people that are saying go ahead, it's good, you know? Because ironically, they end up coming back. So what? They lie? We knew they were lying. We were out there still getting oil up, and it was shimmering on top of the water when the benzene, you know. And we were looking at each other going, "There's no more oil here." Okay. It was ridiculous. It was very emotional, straining.
Move to strike
You know?
all of the witnesses'
Very
testimony
emotional.
that violates
You can
the
see how
court's
emotional
orders.
I am in this whole hearing over it. Think about it.
Move to strike all of the witnesses' testimony that violates the court's orders.
Well, I don't think any of his testimonies violated the court's orders.
Other people live here. My children are growing up here. You know?
Did it stress you out to know that the improper cleanup efforts and the covering up of the oil would affect the natural wildlife, the animals, the fish, etc., that would be within those areas?
Objection to the question.
As well as the people, correct, yes. And you can tell how I'm emotionally stressed even having to come here and talk about it. I didn't, you know, this is stuff that I buried, that I got over. I said, screw it, it's done, it's over. I've moved on. But now it's all like, you can see I'm a mess. you're bringing up stuff that I didn't even want to think about anymore. And I have to tell the truth. I have to. And this isn't for John. And this isn't against Enbridge. And it's not a personal vendetta to you. You're doing a job. You're representing. You got to do that to the best of your ability. Or you wouldn't be worth your job. And this is not a personal attack. And I am being I'm emotionally stressed from this whole thing, from what I went through. And it's bringing up these memories. I'm fighting back tears right now. You have no idea how upsetting this is. I did not want to come here and talk about this today. Darn them for what they put me through and the other workers, you know? Because seriously, if somebody like him wasn't out there doing what he did, they would have been gone the first year, maybe the 2 years. This was not a plan that was going to go on this long. They were forced to come back and do more.
You're talking about him being Mr. Bullenball.
Mr. Bullenball.
My question earlier, though, was I understand that you're...
But seriously, we all should have. Most of the people... And John, at one point when we were out there, he looked at me when that guy said what he said. He goes, Kevin, you live here too. You're going to tell me that this doesn't... I said, yeah, it bothers me, but I said, I don't know, John. I don't know what to say. That was an emotional stress for me. What do? Do I do the right thing? Or do I make that money I need to make to take care of bills and family and stuff? It was like, what was the point in us even being out there? Oh, I know, to make $22 an hour. How much, and and be honest with you, if I had to do all over again, I would have quit. I wouldn't have wanted any part of this. Because I could imagine, because John dug into this deeper. And I know this goes on all the time. This is just big money, big corporation. This ain't the first place it's ever happened. But this is my hometown. This is where my kids live and where my cousins and my father and mother grew up. And I was quite the outdoorsman growing up. We never had to worry about this stuff before.
Move to strike all the testimony that violates the court's orders.
Well, we were talking about emotional, right? Emotional stress. I'm emotionally stressed. I can't even imagine what he's been through out there trying to get all this out to the public and not turning his back on it like a lot of us did.
Move to strike the testimony.
You're talking about him being John Bullenball.
John Bullenball. I'm sorry, I think we need John Bullenballs in this world because obviously Kevin Jacobs didn't step up, and I live here. And there's a whole bunch of other people that worked on this river crew that lives here. And it's sad that we all did the same thing that Enbridge is doing. It's all about the dollar.